hardest working guy in the business right here.
We do have, looking for like regular issues about in glass or deceased. We do have those out at Walmart.
Hello, collectors. Nate the Great here from Collection Connection. This week, episode 7, our first episode of the year. And we were able to go to Frank & Sons, which just had its grand reopening. It moved from the city of Industry to the city of La Puente, January 4th, grand opening on Saturday. And I was able to go there with a buddy of mine. I had a bunch of friends there, but they had met so early that I wasn't able to go and meet them. I think they were there for it to open. The previous location in the city of Industry, it had a really tough time with parking. There was some small spots around there, but most of it was used for unloading and offloading trucks and whatnot. It was a great venue though, great show. It was huge, and if you're not familiar with Frank & Sons, it's kind of like a swap meet for collectibles. They've got like baseball cards and jerseys, comics, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, vintage toys, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers. They got Masterpiece Transformers, Sanrio, Hello Kitty stuff, sideshow collectibles, statues. I mean, if somebody collects it, it's there. So you could pick it up there at Frank & Sons. One of the problems with that location was that the parking was horrible. There was some spots, but they were, fairly spread all over the place, and you'd have to get in and park way far away in some random street behind a tree. It was totally skeevy, especially when they would have like big events. When one of the great things about the original Frank & Sons was that that was where I was able to go and meet Stan Lee for the first time, when I got his autograph on my X-Men 101 first appearance of Phoenix. Another problem with the original location was that it was blazing hot in there. All of the people who had their own various booths would just have like fans blowing on them, and it could be pretty brutal. So it was a great show in theory, but they just moved to a new venue in La Puente, and the new venue it's in an old Sam's Club. So if you're familiar with Sam's Club, it's a big box club store, kind of like a Costco, and lots of parking, lots of space, air conditioning, a lot more of an upgrade on the building. The previous location was like an old warehouse. This one is just a lot more suited to the needs of the collectible show. So when I went in, the first thing I have to do is make a beeline and say hi to Jimmy J with Amazing Comics. He's the hardest working guy in the business. So it was great to catch up with Jimmy. And I just went around, and there wasn't too much different things. I mean, most of it was just the same vendors were moving across. But I think they have new rules on the quality of items that you can use to set up your booth. Some of those booths were like held together with like bamboo and duct tape. They weren't done very well. So I think there was a minimum standard for booth construction there, which I could appreciate. It just made it look a lot more modern. The parking was still pretty bad, but I just think that was because it was the inaugural day that it was opening. There was spots. I mean, I didn't have to leave the parking lot. I just had to go down a little bit ways. And since it's in such a big strip mall, there's lots of parking there. So I've had to probably go. I probably had to walk at some points a mile away from the actual venue at the old Frank & Sons. Whereas this one, it was maybe a quarter of a mile away, in front of like a Chinese restaurant. Which if you like Chinese food, there's an abundance of Chinese restaurants all around Frank & Sons new show, so you'll be able to have a good time there. Inside they had food as well. I think they're still working on it, but they had kind of like a bodega liquor store deal set up where you can get drinks and ice cream, chips and gum candy, that kind of stuff. And then next to it, they were selling pizza by the slice, hot dogs and nachos, as well as random muffins and croissants, things like that. And they weren't ridiculously priced. You're not paying convention center prices for those things. So it wasn't horrible. The pizza was good. The layout was pretty awesome, considering that they were just probably had all of the vendors there probably had about a week to move their whole stuff over there, and I imagine there being traffic in and out with other people moving their stuff. It's a pretty big show. It was pretty good. I only picked up one item, which was a large size Munchie Chi for Juliet, because she calls him Kiki. She loves them, so she got a new Kiki, and it was a good time. It was a good show. I'm looking forward to going back again when there isn't such a big crowd. I mean, you want there to be a little bit of a crowd when you go there. You want those people to be able to survive. With the closing of Toys R Us, there aren't a lot of venues for us to go to as collectors anymore where you can see things that touch them with your hands and have them be tangible. Most of the stuff that we're able to do is online now. So it was great to be able to go there and go to a place, catch up with friends, and just have a visceral feel of the Frankincense Collectible Show. So if you get a chance, it's in California, city of La Puente. They're open on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Saturdays from 9 to 5, Sundays from 10 to 5. And on Wednesdays, I believe it's from 5 to 9. Wednesday's a good day to go check out Amazing Comics and get your comic book pull from there if you're in that area. If you get a chance, check them out. We'll see you soon with more shows from our channel. Comic Kids, Comic Cave Let's Go this week, and we have some other shows rolling soon with the launch of our new year. So if you get a chance, check it out. For Collection Connection this week, I'm Nate the Great, and we'll see you next week.